call this meeting of the Fan Ghouls Club to order. I am Brielle.
And I'm Haley. And welcome to part 2 of our Stranger Things Theory Therapy. This is our second installment. This is our second episode of Theory Therapy. I hope we do many, many more. It's been very cathartic so far, talking about Stranger Things, our theories for season 5, and we're going to get into it even more tonight. We have a lot more thoughts on what's coming up in Stranger Things, what has already happened that might connect to all of that. So I'm excited.
I'm stoked.
Yes!
But I'm sad we got most of the Eddie stuff out of the way.
I
I just want to talk about Eddie.
it always comes back to Eddie, so. And I watched episode 1 of season 4 today, so.
You're in the Eddie
I'm in the Eddie zone, yeah.
Eddie zone.
Definitely.
Haley,
Yes.
did you fangirl over anything this week?
Yeah, I fangirled over a lot of things. Obviously, Taylor Swift was in New Orleans, and I think that was just became a whole Swiftie fest, which I was very jealous of.
It looked so cool.
I really wish we had gone.
I know.
We didn't think at the time we were looking at tickets. We just thought we have to go to. Well, New Orleans tickets came out later, but we weren't thinking about the possibilities. Yeah.
Spooky.
Oh.
Nola.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's not even the thing. So it was just fun to see all the Swifties in New Orleans. That was really cool.
I know, and then afterwards they hang out on Bourbon Street, and it looked so cool.
Jealous!
It looked so
I had
fun.
the most FOMO of my life.
Yeah.
I think probably the biggest thing I fangirled over, because we are deep in Halloween week. I fangirled over Agatha All Along this week. This last episode, well, specifically Patti LuPone and her episode.
That was so good.
It was so good. Her performance was I'm obsessed with her giving this role her all, you know?
Yeah, it seemed so random at the casting. I was just it seemed like such an odd choice for her, and
I love how the story is unfolding. So exciting.
I know. The last 2 episodes come out tomorrow.
I know. I'm so excited. So yeah, I probably fangirled over Patti LuPone the most this week.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
That's
What about you?
fun. I fangirled over the announcement of Fierce Street Prom Queen is going to come out next year.
Yay! Oh my God.
I absolutely loved the Fierce Street series when that came out, 2 years ago?
I think 2 years now.
2 or 3? 3 seems too long. And I loved them. I thought they were so good. And they just announced that they're going to have a new one come out next year.
I know. That was such a cool surprise.
Yeah. We don't know if this is going to be a trilogy or just in parts again, or if it's just one whole series, or if it's just going to be a movie.
Is Sadie going to be in it?
But it is cool. It's going to be in the 80s again. But it's an 80s prom queen is literally all we know.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Those movies are, because they kind of have a Stranger Things feel.
Yeah.
I guess especially as
I think it's
the
the 80s. And then it was also just because Sadie.
So I guess we should start off with Stranger Things Day.
Yes.
Stranger Things Day is coming up on November 6th.
That's the day Will Byers was taken.
Basically, they do anything from making announcements to teasing the upcoming season. They release bloopers, and it's really fun. So I have questions about Stranger Things Day. I guess basically, what are our predictions for what they might announce, what they might show?
I think we'll get an official release date for next year.
Like a date, or spring 2020.
Oh, that's true.
Because that's what they did last time.
If anything, then maybe the season. And then I'm thinking we'll get it's barely a teaser, but some sort of teaser.
Yeah.
Maybe it literally shows Elle's face or something.
Yeah, we got to get some actual footage.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing real well, keeping up posting behind the scenes stuff for months now. We know they're done, or at least basically done filming.
Very
or close to being done filming.
Yeah, their broadcast channel on Instagram is so fun to
so
follow.
Clutch.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know they post so much stuff on there. It's cute.
How do they do it without, because they'll even do things like behind the scene videos and trailers and the makeup trailers specifically. And there's so much stuff. Like, how do they keep from spoiling, like, anything?
The coordination alone to make sure they...
It's production all on its own. Yeah.
Just to not spoil
to hide
anything.
things.
Yeah, because I took screenshots of a picture that they posted on that broadcast channel of one of the makeup artists is doing touch-ups on someone's hand.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of looks like Vecna's hand, but like the nails...
It's not the same hand.
And looked different.
But
and
he
like
also
the fingers
has,
weren't
like,
as long.
massive hands.
Yeah.
These were
and then in the bottom, you can see like sneakers.
What was like a running shoe or something.
And like who died in the Upside Down that was wearing sneakers?
Eddie Munson.
So like maybe, I don't know. Or maybe Vecna was just wearing sneakers that day because they weren't doing any feet shots. Very plausible. But I took 2 screenshots and I sent them to Haley and I said, oh my fucking God.
Well, because you sent it to me and I looked at it and I thought that too. I was like, it isn't Vecna. And I left it alone. Then I came back to it. But this isn't Vecna. Like, who is this?
Yeah, who else would it be?
They're not gonna...
Unless we start to see...
They're not gonna waste all that makeup material and things to do the shoes. Like, it's purposeful.
Yeah, like you would see it. Or maybe that's how they shoot it and then they do the CGI over it after or something.
Maybe, but that's...
But like also maybe it's leaning into like maybe there's a bunch of... That's the army. Is like they all kind of look Vecna-y.
This is also
like
true.
The resurrected people because Nancy saw an army of monsters and things and like...
I know.
The sneakers
Could
just
be
really...
the army, yeah.
I don't know. The sneakers really did something for me. One, because it's, even if it is Vecna, it's just confirming, like, hey, here's Vecna. When obviously we all know he's still alive.
Yeah.
But at the end of the season, it's supposed to be like, oh, like, what happened to him? Is he alive?
I know.
Like, what? So it was a cool shot for them to just, like...
It's such a... Because it's a direct homage to Michael Myers. Even, like, the falling out the window and falling to his death. And then the body's gone. And he's gone. It's, like, shot by shot. So, yeah, we're all assuming he's alive, of course.
Because Max has the Michael Myers mask that Eddie ends up wearing in that season.
Bro, yeah. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
We could do a whole video on...
Just each season.
On all the, like, inspiration, the references, I mean.
Yeah.
So good. But anyway, yeah, that behind-the-scenes photo... one of the coolest to try and like dissect.
So that was the only one that they've really... Everything else has been like a shot of someone in a trailer holding a coffee or
yeah,
like,
we've seen people, ooh, what's this t-shirt that Steve's wearing? Me, you know? It's not really anything.
Or they also posted a picture of kind of confirming, or maybe it's just a set from 2 seasons ago that they've kept for some reason, confirming that like the underground tunnels will be a thing again.
Oh, okay.
It showed just like a shot of like the tunnels.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. They posted that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense if the right side up isn't safe anymore.
Yeah.
Then maybe...
Are people hiding out in tunnels?
Yeah, maybe they're in the crawl.
That's the crawl.
And they're somehow... They're safe, have become safe from the monsters. / the army.
It's tunnel number 3.
What could it mean?
There's so many tunnels. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting that they posted that too. Like, oh.
Totally.
The tunnels are back?
Do we want to continue on with our Stranger Things Day predictions?
Oh, is that where we were?
Yeah.
Do you have any Stranger Things Day predictions?
No, I kind of agree with you. I think they'll tease
it's probably
some semblance of the release time frame.
Yeah.
And then, but for the final season, I do feel like it'll be somewhat monumentous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true, because obviously they'll celebrate it in the smallest capacity for years to come.
Yeah,
but this is the last
anticipated
one that's involved in the series still ongoing.
Yep.
Next year, unless it comes out in a year after next year's Stranger Things Day, which will be below, and I'll be so sad if we have to wait that long.
And they'll save stuff to Doom as well. They always do a big showing there. I think that, but since this is the last Stranger Things Day before a release, I feel like we'll see a lot of cast, hopefully.
Yeah.
Like they'll be the ones to come on and sort of tease some stuff. It's hard to imagine what sort of teaser they would do.
It's probably the lamest, smallest. Like,
they
not
might
even a teaser. Like how Avatar, the live action Avatar,
it was
did
just like
a rock moving, and you're like, oh, yay.
I was like,
which is cool because that's confirming that we're gonna have Earthbend. Like, cool.
No, you're right.
I feel like it'll be something like that. It's like
little
maybe
baby bits,
but I'll still eat it up.
Of Elle's nose bleeding.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. I think that maybe they'll officially release the rest of the titles.
The last 2.
Yeah.
That's
or
true.
all of them, because they haven't officially confirmed the first 6. Just the first episode. So anyway, yeah, I think it'll be...
I'm so excited.
I'm going to be excited about.
Yeah.
You know, what better time to be doing our theory therapy. Maybe we'll have some more to talk about, or like any little slice of an answer would be great.
I really hope we get something exciting. Like, yeah, maybe all the titles. I have a feeling that maybe they won't ever release the titles until like the episodes come out, because the
really
last
cool.
2, the titles might give it away, or like might.
You could only imagine.
Might give away something that would happen in the episodes before or something. So like keeping those a secret the whole time would be really cool.
Are they going to do it in parts again? Also,
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it in many, many parts. Like released it week. Did they release everything weekly last time?
No. They dropped
2 drops.
No. Yeah, they only did 2 drops. The first 6, and then
I wouldn't be surprised if they did it everything a separate drop, because they said every episode's going to be at least an hour and a half, or like something like crazy long.
How cool would that be to experience that as a Stranger Things fan?
Yeah.
The feeling of getting together for Game of Thrones every week.
Yeah.
And, we did it with Last of Us and all, a lot of HBO shows.
Mm-hmm.
That excitement is just, and that way there are no spoilers too.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a huge issue.
That's true.
Huge issue for people who
especially
can't
if Eddie comes
freaking
back.
sit and watch it all. I mean, we probably will, but watch it all in one fell swoop.
Oh, yeah.
We have to pull out of work.
Yeah, I'm not risking a single thing.
No.
I don't trust the internet.
Not at all. We can't risk it. So yeah, maybe. How cool would it be for them to do?
It'd be so hard to wait between episodes, but I think weekly would be really cool.
Especially, right, like you said, if they're that long.
Yeah. All right, so we left off last week with part 1, theory therapies. You briefly went over The Talisman.
Yeah.
And just like that's the book Lucas happened to be reading Max.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of wrapped up all of our general theories and hopes about Eddie and all of those things. And then we really delved in, I'd say, halfway of some of our thoughts on Will.
Yes.
And all of that.
I certainly have. Well, I mean, we've got more.
Briefly talked about how Stranger Things is the greatest love triangle in the world.
And there are more, too.
Yeah.
There's another triangle to discuss.
Now that you're upset with me.
Oh, yeah. Also, we do need to talk about that.
But it's just so funny that we talked for so long, and we really, as I rewatched it back, like we didn't even get to go over that much. Like we
didn't scratch the surface.
Got to deep dive. So I know we have a lot more to go over.
I mean, I'd love to list off some crazy, they're all crazy theories, I guess, when you're theorizing over a television show in this way, but that's why it's amazing. Okay, yes, so I have some crazy theories. I just kind of was watching some videos today, just to see what other people are coming up with, and there are some wackadoo ones.
Oh, cool!
I can just list off and see what you think about them.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, here's my first one.
Yes.
1/Henry/Vecna.
Yes.
Is Eleven's father.
I am your father.
Which I truly had never considered before. But I mean, the lab really was just that fucked up to where it's in, and I know the timing of it lines up because Terry, what's her name?
Yes.
Terry, her mother, is committed and used for the experiments in 1969.
Willingly, she went there a lot.
She went to do the trial. Henry was a 12-year-old boy or a young boy when he went to the when he went there in the early 60s.
When Henry thought he died, Victor thought he died.
Exactly.
He said he went into a coma, and then a couple days later he died.
Yes, exactly. And that was the early 60s. So then flash forward, Terry is at the hospital.
He would have been like early 20s.
He would have been in his early 20s by 1971, 72 when Elle was born. He would have been 24, is how the math lined up.
Almost positive in the flashbacks that we see Elle revisiting at the end of season 4 to get her powers back is in 79. So like, yeah, she would have been...
She was born in, 72, I think. 83 is when the first season takes place, and she's like... Is she 11?
I was so confidently like... I didn't even...
Well, because Will is... Maybe it's ambiguous. Maybe we're not supposed to know.
I don't think we really know, yeah.
So, that gives it a bit more leeway even.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it all lines up to where, like, Brenner easily could have, like, bred Henry, who he knew already, because he was older at that point, had abilities.
Maybe numbers 2 through 10, like, just weren't showing good enough signs.
Yeah.
So he was like, maybe if I, like, breed it directly.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this one's not that crazy to me because Brenner always really focused on 11.
Yeah.
Even though she was the weakest one.
Mm-hmm.
She was the youngest, and she wasn't showing any progress. She wasn't...
Right.
She was weaker than all the other kids. Like, she wasn't showing any growth.
Right.
But why was he still so adamant on her?
I think reading more into it, also, there's a point in the number of kids when they get progressively more powerful. It's like 6 through 11 are the more powerful ones.
Are they all siblings?
That's what I'm thinking. So maybe like once Henry was
artificially, and I wouldn't be surprised
if... Yeah.
Oh, that's true. It doesn't have... They were in a lab.
Yes.
It literally did not have to be...
No.
Okay. I literally was like, maybe he just slept with all of these ladies. But, easily could have just...
used Henry's...
And maybe Henry didn't even know,
I mean...
Ooh, that'd be so good if he doesn't even know. And then in season 5, we find out.
I have chills. That's crazy.
I wouldn't put it past Brenner at all. He just wanted the most powerful.
I mean, you saw how fucked up things got there. Like, they will go there. They're not afraid to go there.
Yeah, because then he would learn that he killed all of his children that he didn't even know about, and that'd be so cool.
Right. But then it's like, who does the fight become against at that point? Or maybe that's what...
That was a big theme in season 4. It's like, she thought she was a monster. Like, she thought she was the one that did all of it. She thought she killed everyone.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, is Henry really... Well, now he is, yes. But, like, is Henry really the monster? Or is it because Brenner made him into a monster? And, like, it's just this whole...
It's just not satisfying with Brenner...
Dead.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but who knows? I mean, maybe...
He comes back again.
Or maybe there's yet another person above Brenner so he was answering to. Because, there was some messed up, like, true... fatherly, like, caring feelings that Brenner did have towards them. Those emotions were there. So, I wonder, maybe there's a right side up big bad that we have yet to uncover as well. But that's really cool. Okay, so I'm glad we unpacked that because I read it and I was like, maybe I thought it was a bit more, not cliche, but just like, okay, this would kind of be dumb, but
the artificially...
The math is kind of thing.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, it's so funny that I didn't even think about that. I was like, I guess he could have just, like, slept with all these ladies, but there's other ways that it could have happened, and they're literally in a lab.
There were plenty of different experiments taking place.
That would have made so much sense.
Yeah. This makes the... Okay, I have woven together the story in my head now.
Yeah.
And how this all relates to your Byler being together in the end. The roadmap, if you will.
Oh, okay.
So Vecna Henry is Eleven's father.
Okay.
Henry and Alice both survived. And here's my, little bit of Alice thing. Alice. So it looks like she died, right?
Mm-hmm.
All signs point to she dead.
But
she wasn't all, like, mangled and, yeah.
Her eyes were weird and bloody. But nothing else was.
That could be an indication of, like, right, his power not being quite enough to kill her.
Because we saw him kill his mom.
Oh, yeah.
And she did the eye poppy thing and the breaking of all the limbs.
It's the same pattern. It's the same thing every time.
But Alice wasn't.
Yeah, she was laying on the floor. So, I totally believe Alice is dead. Why even give him a sister character, Why even give him a sister character?
Yeah.
Maybe, to make him seem even more evil. But I think she's alive. And I am sort of in the camp that believes that Karen Wheeler is Alice. So, Vecna, Eleven's dad.
Oh, so they're related and now it's weird?
Yes! Henry is Eleven's dad. Henry is Karen Wheeler's brother. Karen Wheeler's obviously Mike Wheeler's mother.
So Vecna's his uncle.
So 11 is Mike's cousin. So then that opens the door for a potential Byler. But I do think that is what it would take for Byler to happen.
I don't think it would actually happen, but...
No, I would love that for Will.
Yeah.
But I truly believe, like, especially having just rewatched season 1, like...
It's so cute.
That is, like, if that's not, love at first sight, I don't know what is.
I know, they're so cute.
When my little baby Mike sees little baby 11, and it's like...
He just knows.
So much more than caring and friendship. It's like, he immediately, like, knows.
Yeah.
And then she immediately trusts him so much, and they form this whole thing together because of the two of them, really.
Yeah.
So, in the end, they have to come back together. Not that they're not together now, but there is some tension, I would say. It's
growing pains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really hope they're not cousins. But I love both of those theories.
Yeah, the Karen, all the Karen stuff.
There's so much there for Karen.
I don't know if that would be what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like there is something with Karen.
There's something with all of the Wheelers, obviously.
Except the dad. He's truly...
Yeah, So maybe it's her bloodline,
Yeah.
We learn her last name in the play.
Oh.
So it's uncovered. So it's not...
A mystery.
Although I guess it could still be Creole, but she's hiding it. She's adopted by somebody else. I don't know. Anyway, here's the thing. Like, Vecna has clearly had interactions with all of the Wheeler kids. And they have been left alone. To Holly and Nancy purposely. Mike may have just gotten away in the past or whatever.
Mike's never been in danger. Like, he's never, like... How has he gotten through all of these seasons? And he's, like, never really been hurt. He's not
really ever part of the... Well, he just had 11 protecting him. The 2 times, really, that he was in danger. 2, 3. There's just always been somebody stronger who makes the sacrifice or comes up with the plan or does the fighting. So we'll see if he really has his big moment in season 5.
Yeah, I hope so.
But just, Vecna let Nancy go. Supposedly to send a message, give a message back, but like why her specifically, and why just let her go? And Holly obviously is the whole thing, but so what do you think about those things?
Oh my god.
That entanglement.
Oh, I 1,000%, like, I'm so much more down for the Vecna Papa theory now.
It's cool.
To think that, like...
She has so many dads, really.
Yeah, I know.
In so many ways.
And that, there you go. It'd be even... And, like, what else to, like... fuck her up even more if she found out that he was like her father. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. How does that play into the whole trauma? Like,
because we had the opportunity to kind of, in the smallest way, have Eleven's aunt maybe mention her father or something, but it seemed like she didn't even really know, or it just was never touched on. It has not been a single topic ever. It's not like her sister brought up that like, oh, she was with this guy, but then she was, like.
It must be so deep seated that she can't even talk about it. Like, it must have happened in the lab. Do we know for sure that she was born in the lab because her mother was at that point?
Yeah, we see the shots.
Yeah, that's right.
Of Brenner drugging her, and they electrocuted her brain and all that to try and get her to forget, but she couldn't forget her daughter, and she came back for her, and then
but she was born in the lab.
Yeah.
So.
Or at least Brenner was there during her birth.
So right,
how would he have known? Yeah.
How
He's
would
involved.
she have gotten pregnant in any other way?
Yeah.
So messed up.
I know.
Right, the origins of her dad have never even been. I think they've sort of been covering it up with the papa of it all, and then being, Hopper being her father figure.
Yeah.
And us, the fans, just being more than okay with that. So we just forget, there's someone else out there. That's interesting.
So good.
And then maybe that would cause Hopper to, have a big...
Papa Bear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many cool possibilities.
I hope so, because they've been split up so much, and,
it would be cool to have them team up.
really together.
Yeah.
Because they've always been split up. Besides fighting in the cabin.
Yeah, I was excited that I have to see some original groupings.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we see some totally different
ones that we haven't been able to really get. I just want to see the core forward really do something together again, and then get some good Hopper and 11 together and
family stuff. I'd love to see some Nancy and Mike stuff too.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
That's why I'm scared. I know, because they've teased back and forth of their sibling rivalry all the time.
But if it's Holly that gets taken,
and the vanish,
if that's what it's called, then maybe that's a moment for a time for Nancy and Mike to
really,
sad.
And maybe that's where Karen comes into it all.
It's very it of them.
They finally tell Karen, they sit her down and be like, look, this is what's up, we need your help.
Karen's like, I know, I've known all along.
It's me.
He's my brother's just misunderstood.
I love him anyway. Speaking of 11, I don't really have too many theories with her, to be honest. But one of the biggest things is that I don't think they would, because they have left and right surprised me, and I've loved every second of the story. I don't see any world in which I'll be disappointed, if I'm very honest. Mm-hmm. But I really hope they don't do the classic, she has to end up giving up her powers to, at the end of the story, she ends up not having her powers anymore because she gave them up for a sacrifice, or she just, she...
Talk about cliche.
Yeah.
I really think that.
Because she already lost her powers once, and then she had to do all this whole thing in season 4 to get them back again. And I also just, the whole point of the story just, wouldn't make sense if at the end she just,
if anything happens to her, really, other than something good.
Yeah.
Right, it's been all, the whole thing stems from her.
Yeah. And
what happened to her.
Yeah.
And she's got to be at peace in the end.
Mm-hmm.
More than anybody.
Maybe she finds out that's her dad, so she just goes to the Upside Down to live with him, and then they're both happy, and then he just stops bothering everyone.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Just kidding. But I did have a thought, and I said this last week that I had a certain thought about her in the ending.
Yeah.
But I know you would be really sad to hear about it. Because what if
11 in the ending?
Yes.
At the end?
What if she has sort of a Loki ending?
No. I don't want to hear it.
Or technically...
No.
She doesn't die. She's not sacrificing herself in her life in that way. But she sacrifices herself in kind of the way Loki did.
Gets herself stuck.
Yeah, maybe she goes and she's sacrifices herself that like she permanently stays in the Upside Down and she gains control over the particles in the Mind Hive instead of Vecna. And then so she controls all the monsters and all of the Upside Down now. And so they do what she wants and she keeps the right side up safe. But she has to stay in the Upside Down forever.
That makes me super sad.
I know.
I mean, I can see it. Like, it makes sense. But I think I would be really disappointed in that ending. I really only want her happiness. Her and Hopper to be happy together.
I know.
And, her and friends.
Mm-hmm.
That would suck.
I just think it would be cool if she somehow took over the hive mind instead. And, like, that's how she...
Yeah. I can totally see it.
Won in some way.
And then that gives him an opportunity for, like, a really sad flash forward. And all the boys are, like, grown
and she can
they're
only...
remembering her.
Because she can still check in on them, like she always does. She would always spy on them.
Quick call.
Well, she would always spy on them and like check in on Mike and see what they were doing, like when she puts on the blindfold and stuff. So like she could always see them, but like they can't ever.
Yeah. Oh, it's devastating, but it's not. It's good. It's a good theory, but too sad.
Yeah.
Too sad. I could see that being like ending of a season. For this show specifically, I could see that being the ending of like a season, and then
getting her back.
Yeah, a la like how Max is now. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's good though. I don't really have much with her either. I don't have theories. I just want her to be happy.
I know.
She deserves it. I want Eleven to be together. I want Mike to buck up.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's never gotten injured. He's never even gotten, like, I don't know how he's gotten away with all this. And I need him to just fucking, like...
That'll be an interesting thing to see in this time, whatever the time skip is. Maybe that's something we'll learn on Stranger Things Day. Like, the teaser is, like, 5 years later or something.
I don't know. I went down a whole rabbit hole today.
You did?
Yeah.
About what?
That what if the time jump's not, like, a time jump when we start off the show... and it's like 5 years later or something. The time jump is actually them, like, time traveling in the show. And they're going to the past.
Like to 1983, like where the Upside Down is.
And this is, like, how they end up winning.
Whoa!
Let me open my nose.
That's cool.
Because...
I was wondering, that's something I was going to ask about, like, what's up with... Right, when Nancy is reading her diary and it ends on
maybe
November
that's
6th.
the answer. Maybe they didn't just pick Stranger Things Day because, Stranger Things, like, this is an important date in the show. Like, maybe it's the important date.
End of beginning. And then DJ's song starts playing.
Did Joe spoil the end of Stranger Things?
It's an Easter egg that not even Taylor Swift herself could come up with. Because it's right there in plain sight.
That's the funniest thing.
We're going to have to dissect those lyrics after.
Yeah, hold on. We're going to have a whole hour-long video dissecting the lyrics.
Break. Anyway.
Oh, that's good. Anyway, wow.
So Nancy reads the diary, and then that leads us for the crawl. The first episode, we just jump right in. It's like Ed or Will singing "Should I Stay or Should I Go?"
Of the same day, yeah.
But they're actually there, and they are living it.
Mm-hmm. Well, because there's just a lot of things hinting at time travel and time in general.
Yeah.
One, Vecna, when he's angrily giving his villain monologue to Elle, he's talking about time. And he was like, and time, he's like really pissed off talking about time and how it's like a prison that people have invented. And he like really doesn't like time.
Yeah.
So we see a shot of little Henry, little Vecna, little Vecna and a Horror Nights.
Oh no! The guy that was in the house.
We went through the Stranger Things haunted house at Horror Nights last year, and we turned a corner and we swear like we saw the Vecna that was like 4 feet tall.
And it was supposed to be like big scary Vecna. Like that was going to be the little scene in the house, and it was just so anticlimactic because the Vecna was so like shorter than me.
We just keep calling him Little Vecna.
Little Vecna.
Anyway, so Little Vecna,
so good.
in another flashback of Henry going back into the grandfather clock.
Yeah.
This whole show has to do with time. When everyone's dying, you hear clock chimes in the background.
Yep.
And all of this. So the whole show, it ends up having to do with time. And time is the way that they're going to be able to end up defeating Vecna. Because what does he hate most?
Time. That makes the most sense of anything I've ever heard. It does.
Thank God. But yeah, so we see a shot of Henry as a flashback. He's rewinding the hands on the clock.
Henry is.
Yes.
Okay.
But then we also see when he is like, I don't know what the word would be, possessing or whatever. He's showing Nancy the visions of the future of Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
He shows her all the cracks. He shows her all the, everything. But we also see a shot of like clock hands going backwards again. Wow. So I'm like, what if this is something Elle learns how to do?
That's interesting because I was watching the first episode of season 4 today.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this last week when we were talking about the D&D game that Lady Applejack subs in for.
Yes.
And when Dustin rolls to defeat Vecna, he rolls the 11. That is the very first time, or in any case, whether it's the first time or not, he rolls the 11, and when it lands on the 11, the clock chimes extremely clearly.
Really?
But it's random. Like that, that theme isn't playing at all. And it's only in that moment, when it lands on the 11, that the clock chimes.
So it's hinting that she's going to be involved in time, too.
Yeah, so maybe she's not directly defeating him, but she's figuring out. Mm-hmm. So that, Lady Applejack rolls the D20 to defeat him in the end, but whatever that signifies, if it doesn't. But the 11 specifically, when I rewatched today, I was paying attention because we talked about it last time.
I didn't notice the clock chime.
And the clock chimes clearly, and if I'm not mistaken, it might even be the first time it does at all in the season.
In that first episode?
Yeah.
Ooh,
because we hadn't seen, I don't think we had seen Chrissy in the bathroom yet at that point. I literally just watched it. But it did strike me, like, immediately. I was like, whoa, that's so clear. So, yeah, I mean...
Interesting.
We could go back and specifically look for all the references of time.
Yeah. There's some of them.
Yeah.
Season 3, when they sneak into the movie theater, Back to the Future is playing.
Whoa, that's cool.
So that's a big one.
Yeah.
In Elle's opening monologue of season 4, when she's doing the, what does she say? Diorama. This is my diorama. She is doing a voiceover of one of the letters that she's writing to Mike. And she literally says, we're all kind of time travelers if you think about it.
Woo! That's cool. Oh, that's so interesting. That's incredible. Because, that is one true great 80s sort of horror sci-fi trope that they would undoubtedly play into.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Because then this will lead into the whole other thing, too, of that the counselor is wearing the necklace that's a clock, but it's also a key. Yes. So I've seen people have said, what if it's not because that's the key to something or she's directly connected, but what if the clock being a key is saying that time is the key to defeating Vecna? That's
so cool. And now that you're talking about this, maybe because we're reading so much into the counselor, I think.
Yeah.
So many theories about her. So what if she is merely a symbol? That would make sense. A counselor is the one thing in the real world combating kids and others against their traumas in their minds. So she's fighting it. She's the key. Therapy is the key to defeating your trauma.
She's not on Vecna's side. She is part of the key.
And she's also physically wearing the
key.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
I gotcha.
I know you.
Oh, that's good. But basically, if this theory is like what ends up happening, it will be a little funny because it's almost directly similar to Avengers, where they lose in Infinity War, and then in Endgame, they have to go back in time to end up winning.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool.
It would be.
But that's just like, that made me think like that's very similar to that.
But right, maybe it is, how can they make that different? So many ways. I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be a direct, literally going back, time traveling. It's just the upside down, I think just going to the parallel world.
At that time, or like... We haven't seen Elle spend any direct time in the upside down, right? Only mentally.
Right.
Or maybe for a couple seconds when she's like coming out of a portal or something, a gate. But do you know?
At the end of the first season, she sends herself. She goes there with the Demogorgon.
But she comes like in the beginning of season 2.
She immediately comes back in.
So I don't know if she's spent any time there.
Yeah. Right, because season 2, she's preoccupied in Chicago, and then, or in the trailer. Yeah, the collie stuff is. Yeah. There's gotta be something.
There ain't no way. There's nothing. They did not spend all that time.
No.
For nothing.
Wait. And.
Okay, hold on. I need to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you want to go into that right now?
Kind of.
Great. Well, it's a good segue.
Yeah.
My one thing was, I have also just watched the collie stuff. And, I mean, that power is way too specific and useful and can really fuck with everybody for it to not come about in the timeline of, like, Hawkins. In any case, Collie was, like, really freaking upset when Elle left. And I just was really paying attention to that reaction and, like, the desperation from Collie to have Elle
join
her and use her power and, like, Brenner-esque almost. Even using Brenner as a mirage to talk Elle into it.
She was trying to convince Elle to join her by using her trauma against her, which is identical to what Vecna does. But it was interesting. Kali, she has she has the power that Vecna has that Elle doesn't have.
Yeah, you're right.
Vecna makes people see spiders right before he ever kills them. Vecna makes people see their traumas, and that's how he kills them. And what did Kali do? She made Elle see Papa to purposefully upset her.
Also, the kid, the punk kid in her group, she makes him see spiders. It's the first thing
that we see her do.
Wow! That's crazy.
Maybe Vecna's her daddy too.
Yeah.
But like, so Elle and Callie, their two powers would make up the powers we've seen Vecna have so far.
Yep.
Maybe Dustin rolling the 11 and 11 doesn't defeat Vecna is leading to 11 can't do it on her own. Maybe she needs Callie to help, and with their powers combined, then maybe they can defeat Vecna.
Because they're the only ones left.
Yeah.
8 and 11.
What's the math?
Not a D20.
Close. And then 1.
Cool.
And then
1!
Vecna's 1!
Vecna, Collie, and Elle make up a D20.
Wait. And they're the only ones left. That's really good.
That's interesting. And no one knows about Collie. She didn't tell anybody.
I don't think so. She just came back wearing the clothes, and Hopper was like, "What's with this?" And she was like, "It's bitchin', right?" And he was like, "Sure." Like, we didn't see her talk to anyone about it.
Because, like, if the party finds out, they're sure to put this theory together themselves. I mean, what does this mean?
Dustin would solve it in 2 seconds.
I know, exactly. If not him, then Lady Applejack.
Ooh, I can't wait. She's going to do something so cool.
I really think she's going to be leading Hellfire, if it's a literal time skip.
Yeah.
Because just, again, watching her and Eddie in that first episode, like, Eddie immediately... He talks to the boys about how he sees this in them. Like, he sees Lost Soul, whatever.
But it's her.
And then he meets her, and it's, like, different.
Mm-hmm.
And then him, like, slowly shaking her hand.
Oh, he loves her.
He does the whole thing for anything for her.
I remember seeing that shot in the trailer, and I did not know who the fuck he was, but I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Erica is now the leader of Hellfire. But what does this mean? What does Kali has to come back?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Not that they were bad episodes, or it wasn't a bad episode, but it was like, you know, the whole time you just want to get back to the main story.
Yeah.
They show her she's the only other one alive.
Mm-hmm. And she showed Elle how to make her powers even stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
what has happened with her in all this time?
Yeah.
You know.
Like, how would Vecna not have found her? You know, he's got such beef with Elle, obviously. She sent him there, but like,
how did she escape again?
She used her powers to like.
Kali?
Yeah.
She just escaped before Elle.
She escaped
before the accident.
Yes. Okay. Before we even meet number one. Because that's the other thing, is that they mentioned her in season 4.
Mm-hmm.
When one is sitting next to Elle and they're playing that game where you try to like drop the thing into the right.
Yeah.
Like on the wood pegs.
Yeah.
And he's trying to have like a very discreet conversation with her. And that's when he says, Papa doesn't always tell the truth. All of this stuff. That's when he starts to implement, like, try to slide some distrust into her. And he says something, you remind me a lot of someone. Later we learn that was him.
Yep.
And when he finally got to unlock, you remind me of one, before we knew he was one.
Yep.
When one was still around, he eventually learned how to really unlock his powers because he used a bad memory. He used a memory that made him sad and angry, and that helped him be stronger. Do you have a memory like that? And he goes, do you remember your mom trying to visit you? And he goes, this is before 8 left. Okay. So he specifically like brought number 8 up again. You know, like,
yeah,
he didn't have to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Weird. You know, it's also really eerie now, like thinking of him as her dad. Like, I can't help it now. Him risking things in that way, and like his feelings towards you know, like trying to bond with her in that way.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if that's true at all, he wouldn't know that he is.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
Huh. But who would be the one to like tell them? Would Owens know if he's still alive?
I feel like he would.
He's not really in
Maybe because when he brings Elle to Nina, he says, like, I know you're the key. I know you're the only one that could defeat him. I know you're the only one to be able to do this. I don't know.
Okay, interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
That's nutty.
Elle plus Kali plus 1 making a 20 is...
Roll a d20.
Insane. They made Kali number 8 for a reason.
Yeah. I just had this crazy thought that, like, what? No, this is stupid.
I love that.
This is stupid. And I gardened before this, so but because I knew it would get my like juices flowing. What if? So they roll between d20. So this is like what in D&D terms, like, what does this all mean? What if? I'm just saying the Thessal Hydra has 3 heads.
Okay.
What if each of them is supposed to be like the head of this Thessal Hydra?
Oh.
And like that's Vecna's ultimate goal, is like to get them to join him to make this like giant creature that can really take everyone out. Because he can't do this without the 2 of them.
Yeah. I love that.
But in reality, it's going to be Kali and Elle who are like, nah, we outpower you.
Mm-hmm.
But there might be something really alluring to them to maybe consider. I don't know.
Maybe he's like, I'll tell you who your real daddies are.
Yeah.
If you join me.
In another world, this is like an anime, really.
It's
an anime.
They have like a lot of nods to Star Wars throughout the series.
Yeah.
So maybe like I'm your papa.
What better one is there?
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Maybe they alluded to Star Wars like in little nods and little ways this whole time because it's just alluding to the fact that he's actually her dad. and it would be just as intense of a reveal as Star Wars was.
Totally. It would be... Vecna stuff continues to be a shock. It just gets crazier and crazier. That's the only thing I can think of that would be like, whoa. And that would tie in... That would just make Elle's story... That would just drive her story even more, obviously. We've been sitting here wondering, like, what's she going to do?
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a main focus right there.
Push her over.
Whoa. Yeah, what if... Because someone who could tell her, maybe, is Terry herself.
Hey, she's still alive. Yeah.
She's still alive, like...
Maybe similar to Nina. Mm-hmm. She needs to go back into... Maybe that's the time travel.
Yeah.
Is that it's not actually... They don't figure out and discover and invent time travel. But, like Nina... To move forward, to learn more about herself and her power, she needs to go into her past, and she needs to finish learning everything about herself.
Yeah.
So maybe Terry's the only way that she can find out that last piece of herself, like, who is my dad? Mm-hmm. And that's how she finds out. And then she unlocks all of, she's super powerful now. And that's, the last piece that she needs. That's the key.
I mean, I would say, I don't know if there's a character who has daddy issues the way that Elle does. I think she's the ultimate, and I'm saying this in the most respectful way.
Ultimate daddy.
It's just true. She's got, I think that's something she's gotta figure. That's ultimate trauma for her.
Maybe that's how they find out.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to how can I mess with Elle? I need to figure out her trauma.
Vecna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, they both in the vision, they both see oh.
It could be.
Maybe that's his. Maybe that's how she defeats him. She figures out what his trauma is and then just...
Well, that could be it.
That'd be so funny. They figure it out at the same time and they're like, well...
I do... It honestly now it really is feeling more like a missing piece of a puzzle.
Yeah.
Actually, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was corny at first, but now it's well, yeah.
We need to know who her
and
dad
even
is.
with all these amazing connections that were made about Henry's story in season 4, it's still not enough to make it be okay, so, but why? You know?
Yeah. So
this is Elle's story.
Victor Creel's her grandpapa.
Ooh, buddy.
He's still alive. He's still down there, too. I wonder if that's the secret to helping defeat Vecna. Something with Victor.
Daddy?
Yeah.
His daddy. Everybody's got daddy issues.
Yeah. Whoa, baby.
Maybe that's why Vecna is sympathetic towards the Wheeler kids because their dad sucks.
He is the funniest character.
To us, he's so funny.
My God. Everything he says cracks me up.
And therefore it makes Karen so funny because of her, hatred of him.
I know, but that scene when she's getting ready and she's, about to go meet up with Billy and then she decides not to. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, but I got a family. I was like, oh.
It's so weird, but that's so sad. Yeah.
Anyway, holy, whoa.
Wow.
I'm so glad we just
locked that in.
We solved everything.
I need to think more on this because that is pretty much perfect.
That's crazy. Do you have anything else for Karen Wheeler at all?
Karen, I definitely think she has, there's something more with Karen. As the mom who is featured the most prominently.
Besides Joyce, she's the parent that's shown the most.
Besides Joyce, of course, right?
Yeah.
Do you find it she's hiding stuff? I just feel like she is hiding something. Not necessarily something bad, but just in watching her in season 1 and how she really is so empathetic towards her kids and really I feel like they could tell her exactly what was going on and she would be like, okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Her being so serious about, Nancy, you can tell me anything, with, Steve or Barb or anything. I just think there's some understanding there that I also had a feeling that she felt, extra guilty that Barb was dead. This is crazy, but just in her reactions, I don't know. I just have this gut feeling that she knows something about...
There's something up with her.
The upside, maybe not the upside down, but her visiting Joyce with Holly in season 1, and Holly famously sees the lights flickering, she follows them, she sees the whatever that was looked like a person, like pressing up against the wall and coming through the wall almost. There's that instance. And then there's season 3, when they are on the Ferris wheel, and she sees is the mind flayer rustling in the trees, calls out to Karen, like, I see something, and no one acknowledges it. Mm-hmm. Then there's the moment in season 4 when she's looking out the window, right? And she's like the first one to see.
She says, look, Mommy, it's snowing.
Yeah, it's snowing, right.
And she is the last person to speak in season 4.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
With that line.
Like, she's always been able to see something.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's something specifically with Holly as a person, as a character, or she's just to represent kids.
Yeah.
And then, they're naive and they're open-minded and that maybe she's just... so maybe kids notice things. Kids pick up on things more than, adults do or something like that. So I can't decide whether I which one it would be.
Right.
Either way, the kid thing just makes sense. Like, she's the youngest kid we see. Like, she would represent...
Yeah. The only thing that makes me question it is the fact that, Joyce is able to see and feel things.
Mm-hmm. She's just paying attention.
She's paying attention, right? I'm assuming that if that episode title remains the same, I think it's episode 3, it's the vanishing of Holly Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
But, who knows? Maybe it's a whole other Wheeler.
Could be, if it's that long, it could be Holly, Karen, or Nancy.
Yeah.
But not Mike. Nothing ever happens to Mike.
No, Mike's fine.
Is that all? Do you have anything else for Holly?
No, I don't think so. I think that's it. It's just a general.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, I did think it was interesting that she's like the last one to speak. And yeah, each season she's always been. She's the only one besides the main kids, the main characters, that has ever seen or noticed anything to do with the Upside Down. Everyone else is completely oblivious, has no idea, hasn't seen anything. She's the only one.
And remains sort of she's so small, so little, but merely as an observation. She's not afraid of it. She's not which, again, is kind of a kid thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But kids they also have fear senses,
I guess she screams when the thing starts to come through the wall, but yeah, she's always been very
more interested.
To be like, Mom, look, the trees are moving. Mom, look, it's snowing.
Yeah.
It just.
I don't know. Yeah, it's questionable.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have another Karen theory.
Yeah.
That he's not. I didn't really go far with this. That Karen is not Henry's sister, but maybe Terry's other sister.
She has another sister?
I don't know.
Oh.
And I don't know what more to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it down for some reason. So there had to have been a moment where I was like,
that would be interesting.
Maybe I considered it as maybe this is why Karen...
Her empathy.
Could be a little sus or empathetic. But I was going to say, it would be another reason, if I'm really diving deep into the fact that Karen seems sus to me.
Does she seem sus, or there's just...
Both. At times, both.
Mysterious.
She's very mysterious, in my opinion. I think if she's Terry's sister, then she clearly knows something about the lab.
So maybe she doesn't know about the Upside Down and everything going on, but she's...
She knows that stuff happened there, but she won't say anything because it'll put her and her family at risk. She's sworn to some sort of,
Season 2,
yeah.
All of them are sworn to,
exactly.
Not speak on anything.
Hush, so she literally can't. I don't know. It's very far-fetched. But the other argument that I have for her being Alice is right. Could be an obvious reason why Vecna would be leaving all the kids alone. And, like, why focus so much?
She was also the only parent to get a poster.
Yes.
For season 4.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Why focus so much on her relationship with Billy? Like, other than to just show more of his character, maybe? I don't know. Karen is interesting to me. I will just say that.
There's something, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will be very surprised if, like, the whole series is over and there was just, like, nothing. Like, she was just... Like, I mean, she's the parent of 2 of the main characters, so I guess it makes... I don't know. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to say did Karen and Joyce, like, team up?
Exactly. Like
even the crazy moms would be so just cool. To, like, help their kids, you know, like...
I just think they're really good at building up these characters and giving them all a purpose, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're not just going to let Karen be...
She hasn't had a purpose
the Karen, like the mom or the...
I think I'm good. I just have one more question.
Okay.
My question is if we will actually end up finding out where Henry Creel even got his powers in the first place. Yes. He's number 1, and all we see is that he was a weird child. Yep. So besides that, he just started using these powers out of nowhere. How did Brenner even know that this kid had powers to take him from the hospital and declare his death and steal him? Like, how did Brenner even know he had power, like this child had powers? And where did his powers come from in the first place? Or, like, just such a big question that I'm hoping we'll find out.
For sure. We learned some things in the first Shadow.
Oh, cool.
I totally spoiled the entire plot of the play for myself, but... I
didn't want to, like... Okay, cool.
But it doesn't really tell me what is the complete origin of his powers other than that they started happening. Okay. And it very, very clearly has something to do with trauma. Like he becomes influenced by some sort of shadow monster. Which I think ends up being the Mind Flayer.
The first shadow.
So, yeah. Hooray. Where does that come from?
Because I remember for so long we were like, wait, where did this little girl get these powers from? Like, blah, blah, blah.
I know.
And then we learn that's because it's a full study and all of the lab and everything. And then we learn that it's because she got it from him. But now I'm just like, but where did he get them from? So... Or we'll never actually find that out, and it's just he somehow was a super kid.
Right.
But I feel like they wouldn't do that. Everything has had such a purpose and is such a puzzle piece that I feel like having an answer like that being a just because it just seems unlikely.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
What questions do you have before we wrap up?
Who do you think is going to die?
No one. Next.
No one?
Not a single person is dying in season 5.
All right. That wraps that up then.
Who do you think's gonna die?
I haven't really thought that hard into it. I think Mike could die. make the ultimate sacrifice. Steve isn't going to die.
He has gotten brutally beat up every single season. Yeah. I fully expect it to happen again, but if they kill him, I think they know.
It'd be too much.
I think they know it will.
Like I burst out laughing because that is so ludicrous to me.
Like I think they know not okay.
No.
Like I think
he's safe. Because I don't know why.
Dustin already had to deal with Eddie dying, you know? Like there's just no way.
No.
The biggest thing that scares me with Steve is that he's the only person that we have not met a single other family member for.
Yeah.
Since Robin. Everyone else we've met or seen briefly, parents,
right,
their house, some sort of sibling.
Yeah.
But he's the only one.
They're his family.
He's mentioned his dad.
Yep.
So at least we know he has one. And he was like, maybe I'll just stay here and work at my dad's business or something. That's the only thing we know. That's the thing that scares me.
I know, but I think it's too much.
I know.
I really do. Not a chance. I think Mike potentially, but again, that ties in with like, God, we just need Elle to be happy. So maybe not. They're all just too interwoven. And I think they, the Duffers have said, this is not Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
So no one has to die, I'm not saying. But there have been some pretty memorable deaths on the show. So I would assume there might be another at least.
Unless it's another new character that we grow to love and then they die in the last episode.
Erica's
His new friend.
Yeah,
he looks so cute.
That would be really upsetting. He's adorable.
I know. Oh, I hope he joins Hellfire.
Me too. I bet. Yeah, that's probably the crew. That would be cool. I have one more question.
Yeah.
Just give me a little bit of a description of how you see the very end. Like, I'm thinking happy things. Like, if you could pick a couple of, like, happy moments, what do you want to see?
This is tough because in my assumption of what's going to happen, like, I feel like Hawkins is going to be completely destroyed.
That's sad.
You know?
Yeah.
So if that happens, then it's hard for me to, like, where would everyone go then after that? So it's hard for me to, like, picture.
Well, whether they're able to...
In Hawkins or not.
Yeah.
Everyone moves to California.
Sure.
I don't know. I want Steve to find his own happiness. As much as I love how much I think he loves and wants Nancy, I think that was just his first love, and he's holding on to it so tight.
I agree, and I just don't think Nancy is... They don't want the same thing.
Ever since you said it last week, too, like, at this point, I don't really even see her with Jonathan either. I think they all need... There's too much trauma. I think at this point, it's all just trauma bonding rather than, you know, I don't know.
I think the one thing that I really want to see is Joyce and Hopper.
Yes.
First of all, get their date at Enzo's. Like, I hope it's just like a nice little...
Oh, they just go on a date. That's the last shot.
Enzo's or something, and yeah, I think that would be really sweet. And then he's like, Joyce, will you marry me? And she's like,
the world.
What? And he's like, stranger things have happened.
Don't you dare. No one's going to say that, and I swear to God.
I mean, I could just picture it so clearly.
If anyone, he would be the one to say it. Yeah, with the mustache.
Yeah.
That's cute. Yeah, I would love to see, like, if everything, like...
Just little moments that would be cool.
I wanna see Dustin and Susie actually together in person.
Yeah.
I think that would be really funny.
All at, like, MIT together or something.
Cute. Yeah.
If there's, time skip.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, any little thing. Yeah, I want Nancy to be some, like, reporter.
Maybe she...
Journalist.
Maybe she... Because she's in Hawkins, she, like, reports something.
Yeah.
Do you think she's maybe going to help get the news?
The correct news. The
out
real
to the world?
news. Yeah.
And that's how she gets them in with...
The president.
Oh, the president. I love it.
I'm so intrigued to find out, like, how is the rest of the world gonna be involved in this last season? Are they gonna keep this whole thing? That's the other thing. At the end, Enzo tells Yuri that there is a known threat now for the Upside Down in Russia. So is that going to be a whole other thing they face too? Is the Upside Down going to open up in Russia too? Is that going to be a whole thing? I don't know. Or is it, like, connected? Is there, like, a portal you can, like, jump between Russia and Hawkins now? Because it's, like, time and space and stuff doesn't truly exist in the Upside Down. And that's how Eddie gets the sword that was left in Russia.
There you go. He flaps his bat wings over to Russia.
He's just a bat boy now.
It's a sword. That's a crazy idea. Yeah, the Russia stuff is interesting. We just don't know.
Russia's been involved in every season, so it would be weird that they wouldn't be. Do you have any other questions?
I had an 11 or Byler.
No, I do love them. I think they're cute. I think we left out at a weird spot for them in the last season.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we got everything, and I mean, we can always come back to it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens after Stranger Things Day this week.
Stranger Things Day. I think that we pretty much. But, like, you heard it here too.
I don't think they
right?
need to release it.
You don't really need to watch because we've already given you the scoop. The Scoops Ahoy. So I want to see the Scoops Street back together.
Is Scoops Ahoy gonna be okay?
There are so many team ups I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
several
different ones per episode, please.
We're gonna get a good, like, Nancy and Robin again.
Jonathan, hopefully, will do something.
Argyle's not gonna be in the next season, and I'm so sad about.
He said, "I'm the only sane one, and I am getting back to California."
Yeah, did he just, like, leave? Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure he did. Cool. Okay.
I'm tired now.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe do a little revisit after Stranger Things Day and just, like, recap or something. That would be cool.
That'd be fun.
Because, I mean, any little tiny thing they give us is worth an entire
a whole sit
discussion.
down. Yeah.
Only one week away, just about.
I'm so excited. Okay.
Cool. This meeting of the Fan Ghouls Club is adjourned. Bye.